I want to be honest with you guys here. I didn't leave cryptocurrency because I had some big epiphany or because I suddenly found something better. I left because the game changed, the market changed, and I felt like I had to adapt. I had to go a different route in order to survive. The more I tried to push, the more I felt like I was forcing something in a space that wasn't working the same anymore. So I had to go a different direction entirely. Even though I was without a map, I still had to forge ahead. This video is for anyone who feels stuck in their job, in a niche, or a version of themselves, and you're wondering if leaving means that you failed or you somehow betrayed your passion. This video is to tell you that it doesn't mean so. I'll tell you why. Let me take you back to my final year in the university. I was studying physiology, and somewhere in 2020, in that COVID break, I had an awakening. This was the realization that I didn't want to practice in the medical field. I couldn't imagine myself working in a hospital or anything medical for the rest of my life. Okay, so at that point, it was important for me to find a lifeline, because mind you, I was almost finishing university, and if I wasted those years of my life, I needed to find something, and it had to be something quick. I needed to find a skill. The very first skill I learned was Forex. I found Forex first, I paid for a course, and then somewhere along the line, I naturally drifted into cryptocurrency. So Forex was like a funnel that led me into cryptocurrency. I found out that I actually prefer cryptocurrency to Forex. So I stayed there. And in the ending of 2020, I decided to invest into cryptocurrency. I bought my very first cryptocurrency, which was Bitcoin. In 2021, my investments bloomed. This was the bull run of 2021, of course. This is one of the biggest bull run that crypto has ever had. I saw what I had invested in 2020 and how much it had grown. So I decided that, a career in cryptocurrency, in digital monies, is actually possible. So I decided to go all in and see where it leads me. At that point, I didn't just stay a holder. I also learned how to trade P2P. I started helping people that didn't want to go to exchanges. I helped them to buy and sell their cryptocurrency. I became a middleman in all of that, and I developed trust within a lot of people. And in 2023, I discovered DeFi, and that was what changed my crypto game to a completely new level. Okay, I had been doing cryptocurrency for like 2 years at that point, and I didn't know anything about DeFi, but I always knew that there was something I was missing, because each time I would go on Twitter and maybe join spaces and listen to what people in this same cryptocurrency and Web3 niche were talking about. I felt lost. I felt confused. At this point, the apps I was using for my trading were apps like Binance, KuCoin, Mexi, all these centralized cryptocurrency app. I didn't know anything about DeFi until 2023. After a lot of research, I finally got introduced to the world of DeFi by my amazing mentor, and this was one of the events that skyrocketed my earnings and also my love for the space, because I started doing airdrops. I started participating in new blockchain launch that ultimately earned me free tokens. I started staking liquidity. I started learning behind the scenes of like the mechanics of cryptocurrency that I never knew before when I was dabbling in centralized exchanges. It was like a completely new world, and my mentality and my earnings responded accordingly. I knew that there were a lot of people like me that were stuck in centralized finance within the cryptocurrency niche and just needed a way out, but they didn't have anyone guiding them. So I decided to start up a TikTok page. I started posting about the things I knew, educating people. I swiftly gained about 25,000 followers, doing what I love the most, talking about the topic that I love the most. For me though, it wasn't really about the money. Okay, it was about when like a community member would come to me and say, Lucy, your call helped me to make so and so amount of money. And these were the things that were amazing to me. And I was genuinely in my elements at that point. Like, I felt unstoppable. My peak moment in cryptocurrency and DeFi was the early Solana and meme coin season. This is obviously before Pump.fun and Kaito AI came into the picture. Okay, before the market became a circus, before it became like a madhouse. Okay, at that time in DeFi and the meme coin space, finding a good meme coin project was still very possible. It was a skill. All you had to do was to be able to know how to read momentum, how to read communities, and how to understand narratives. And I was really good at this. Like, I was a natural at this, and so I was making money, my community was making money, and everyone was happy. Like, I had a clear identity, which is Lucy, BTC Barbie, the crypto girl that actually knows her stuff. But everything changed. Two things happened that I think genuinely changed cryptocurrency and DeFi, especially for regular people like me. The first thing was the introduction of platforms like Kaito AI. These were corporate organizations and cabals that started controlling how attention and rewards were distributed in cryptocurrency and Web3 space. And from the beginning, this was confusing to me because one of the key elements that made me to fall in love with cryptocurrency and Web3 was the idea of decentralization, the idea of personal control without any central authority deciding who gets what. And with the introduction of Kaito, it became exactly what I dreaded the most: a centralized organization, a cabal controlling rewards in the Web3 space. And suddenly, it wasn't about your skill or timing anymore. It wasn't about how much on-chain activity you had. It was about how many followers you had on X. Only influencers with massive platforms were eating good in Web3. The playing field, which was like never truly leveled in the beginning, became even completely unbalanced. It just became less about on-chain activity, and it was now more about social media clout chasing and like ass kissing, constantly having to reply to influencers' posts, even though you don't feel like, you just have to do it so that you can get some mind shares, constantly having to, as leak founders of projects so they can get you some mind shares, posting about projects that you are not passionate about, that you do not love, that you do not give two fucks about, just because you want rewards, just because you want views, just because you are attention farming for mind shares. The second thing that I think ruined the cryptocurrency game for regular people like me was Pump.fun. Now, Pump.fun launched, and it became so easy and so cheap to create a coin in cryptocurrency, especially on the Solana chain. Before Pump.fun, picture this: if you wanted to launch a coin before Pump.fun, you needed to have at least $2,000 for initial liquidity and other expenses that you will incur. But when Pump.fun came, it made it so easy to launch a cryptocurrency that it would only take you about $1 to $2 to create a whole coin on the Solana chain. So at this point, every Tom, Dick, and Harry was creating a cryptocurrency. Okay, they were creating meme coins. So that made it to be like tens to thousands of meme coins were launching every single day on the Solana chain. Obviously, there were more rug pulls, there were more pump and dumps, and the scams became more, and the opportunities became even lesser, and the whole market just became draining. This was a meme coin market that I once loved. It became flooded, it became diluted, it became oversaturated, and almost unrecognizable. And somewhere in the middle of all of this chaos, I began to feel something that I have never felt before. I began to feel boxed in the cryptocurrency space. I genuinely felt like the walls were closing into me, and like this world that I had known, like this version of me that was all about crypto, DeFi, and Web3 had an expiring date. I quickly lost motivation to post on TikTok, which was my major platform then. And when I did post, it was to call out the systems which I think was killing the crypto and Web3 space, which I loved dearly. But one day, my account of 25,000 followers got hacked. Everything that I had built from scratch, gone. And I had to start from 0 followers. My account getting hacked was actually a bittersweet experience. Losing all of my hard work and starting over from the beginning was hard. I'm not going to lie. But on the other hand, starting over meant starting with a fresh niche, an opportunity to build my page through my personality, not just one niche, which was crypto and Web3. And this was an opportunity for me to center myself as the niche of my content. Most of you are wondering, oh, BTC Barbie, why don't you post about crypto? Why don't you update us about crypto as often as you used to before? I just want to tell you, I didn't wake up one morning and decide that crypto was beneath me, that I was going to stop posting crypto content. It's just because I felt boxed in, truly and honestly. It was because the market slowed down, the market disappointed me several times, and I had to make a choice. I couldn't sit around and wait for crypto to come back booming the way it was before Kaito and Pump.Fun destroyed it. This is a market that I cannot control. I am just one person with limited liquidity. So I had to pivot. I started asking myself different questions. One, which was, how do I get back to where I was? How do I reinvent myself? How do I reintroduce myself, not just as the crypto girl, but as a girl who knows and feels other things outside of cryptocurrency and Web3? Honestly, right now, I am still figuring things out. I will not sit here and sugarcoat everything and tell you that I have everything figured out. It's definitely going to be a lie, okay? I am currently into learning more about AI, which I feel like moves very fast. But this is not new to me because even the cryptocurrency and Web3 space moves very fast, okay? I'm learning AI not just in a theoretical way. I am learning how to build solutions with AI and through AI. I'm also learning how to code. This is something that I've always wanted to do, but the introduction of vibe coding and coding with AI just made it very easy and seamless for me. I'm also planning a business trip to China to learn about business, importation, and exportation. This is because I want to understand how goods and money actually move in real world. In layman terms, I would say right now I am building my brand. I am building my channel. And although I do not know what exactly that is, I am deciding to include everything that I love, and then as I go along, I'm going to choose the specific thing. I am building my presence in this world, even when I do not have all the answers yet. In 12 months, my dream is to be living in China and traveling all over the world, documenting my life and building AI system that actually works and solve problems for real life people. I want to create something that is completely mine, that is the vision. And although it's not fully formed, to be honest, it is quite easy. I don't even know, but I shall know that I'm not going to know by sitting down one place. I have to keep moving, even though it means pivoting to different other directions. If you are watching this video and you're stuck somewhere, is it a job that is draining you or a niche that you have kind of like outgrown? I want to say something directly to you. Leaving does not mean that you have failed. It doesn't mean that you have betrayed everything that you built and that you worked for and that you previously believed in. Sometimes in life, the bravest thing that you can ever do is to step into the unknown. Take that step into the abyss, even without having a map. You will figure it out when you get there. For somebody like me, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I have everything figured out. But I know one thing. I would rather be uncomfortable and still moving than to be comfortable but I'm still in the same position that I was yesterday. Because to be honest, this is my life that I am living. Every moment, every minute that I waste, that I, postpone is my life. And these are years of my life that I'm wasting away. So I would literally move and do things in my own term than to be a small player in a market that I don't have any control in. I still love cryptocurrency is what I'm saying, but I am not going to put all my eggs in one basket, which is crypto and Web3. I am such a small player to be able to do that. So this is one of the reasons why I am pivoting. Subscribe to my channel if you want to watch my journey unfold in real time. I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers and all the solutions, but I'm going to share everything that I know and I learned along the way with you guys. Let's go.